back to another episode of the Booktroverts podcast. I'm McKayla.
Meg.
In today's episode, I know we said we were doing Harry Potter 3, but we have paused that because things got too intense with the Plated Prisoners series. So we are changing to talk about book 3, which is Gleam by Raven Kennedy, part of the Plated Prisoners series if you have not been following along. And like always, we are going to be talking about everything that happens in the book, and I mean everything until the very last page. So if you do not want to be spoiled, this was a big book, pause and come back. And then instead of our typical deep dives, we're going to do what we've been doing for the other two books, and we're going to have like more general questions where we'll kind of talk about like themes throughout the book and surprising twists. So to get it started, Meg is going to give us a quick summary of the book, and then we'll jump into our ratings.
King Midas made me the woman I am today. Notorious, unattainable, his. The thing about being confined is that you believe it's to keep the bad out until you realize it's about keeping you in. I'm now in a strange kingdom surrounded by liars with no allies of my own, but I won't sit idly by and let myself wither. No, there's something that's bloomed from the pit of my repression, something dark, something angry. But the last thing I expected was for my anger to call out to him, King Ravager. He's sinister and powerful and entirely too seductive. I've learned my lesson with trusting manipulative kings, so why does my chest constrict every time he's near? I need to tread carefully or I'm at risk of losing much more than my freedom. Regret and revenge war inside of me, and I need to figure out a plan fast before I get tangled in the schemes of kings and queens, because I won't be caught in a cage again. No. This time, it'll be me setting the trap. I just hope my heart comes out of this unscathed. I don't know why it just gives me chills because of how the ending was. So
good. Here it was like, King Ravager. Love him.
Yeah. Love it.
Now,
oh, so much better.
What did you rate this one?
I know the first two. I think I had 3. I actually did 4.5 for this one, and majority was that last chunk that just set it above everything else. It was not only a setup book, but we got so much involved in it that it actually was worth it to me, instead of just all right, here we go, going to another kingdom type thing. It was so much better. So that's why I rated it. What about you?
Exact same rating, exact same reasonings. The first half, I was like, okay, maybe like a 3.75, 4 if I like, because at this point, like I'm just connected to the characters and I am a vibe rater. And that, once I will say, she found Digby, I feel like from there to the end, it was just like boom, 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 things are happening. There was something on every page. Like I was like, oh my God, one thing after another. Things that I didn't even think were going to happen in this book happened. I was like, I have to bump this to a 4.5. I was contemplating a 5, but then I was like, okay, the beginning was slow. So like, it's not a 5. But like that, I was feeling the 5 feeling when I finished, because I was just like, what did I just read?
I am with you 100%. I actually waited a couple of days to rate this. Now, I know we do that sometimes with other books of let me let it settle it down, figure it out if I liked it. But that one was oh my God, the ending had me at 5. But to your point, there were just some things that took a little bit too long. I mean, who knows if we read the rest of this, as we read the rest of the series and come back to it, it could be a 5 based on how the rest of the series goes, or it's fair to be a 4.5 because there might be better. But there was so much. And to your point of things not being expected in this book, I didn't know if we were ever going to get it, or was it going to go a different way. Like there were so many things that happened, just the characters too. We got a lot more from them. We were in one place with all of them, so that was really nice.
Getting the Slade, I'm going to call him Rip Rot Slade still, even though the book said Slade, and the book is really pushing Slade and Ravager, but he's Rip Rot Slade to me. Getting his POV in the epilogue, I don't know why I never thought we were going to get his POV. Even though we've gotten other characters, that was shocking to me. I was like...
Yeah, I loved it.
Me too. And I'm like, okay, so are we getting this in the next book? Because that's what I need.
Yeah. And I want more. Because we did get a couple from, I think, his perspective at some point. But that one just hit so much more of value to me, and I would love more of those, because if you think about it too, we'll get to it, one of the characters that we got a POV for a couple times is not a character anymore. Like, they are dead. So I'm hoping that is a gap that needs to get filled by Rip Rop Slade because, oh my God, we need more.
Yes. I will say the other reason why it could not be a 5 is there was just far too much Midas and not enough Rip Rop Slade, especially in the beginning. So I was like, you're all in this castle together. Why are we not seeing him that often? He's down the hall from you. It picked up in the second half.
Yeah, 100%. If they had even just trickled him in a little bit more, I think it would have been a 5 immediately. I would have loved if the three of them interacted more together because there were only a few times that there were those interactions, but it just would have been so much better. I don't know.
Tell me why my mind instantly went to, what type of sense do you want them to interact? Like, I went to, like, threesome. Like,
definitely.
It would be crazy. But yeah, I needed more, like, them kind of fighting over her a little bit.
Yep.
We will not be getting that, though, because, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Midas is dead. Oh, my God.
Oh. And he got killed the way you wanted.
Actually,
that was so refreshing.
Better than I could have ever imagined that would go, though. Like, as, like, shards of gold are, like, falling from the ceiling at him. Wow, he's being encased in gold and, like, the floor is, like, melting.
Yeah.
Could not have written that better.
That scene I actually read twice because I didn't believe it was happening and was trying to visualize it. And then went back and said, oh, this is so much better. Yeah, she did. Yeah.
That beast within her. I love it. But that's something that we were like, we like being wishful. We were like, hopefully maybe book 4 he dies. But there was conversations of like, oh, he's probably going to be here till like the last book. Book 3? What the fuck is going to happen in the next 3 books?
I don't know. I have comments on it, but I just don't. I don't know. Because I didn't want him around, but I figured he was going to be around to be the person that we hate. You know what I mean? At the end, this huge clash with him. So I don't know what's going to go on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we should get into the questions since I'm like jumping ahead of like, we have an outline. We kind of touched on it, but like, what are your thoughts on the book? What vibe did it give you? And then did you see any of the twists or shocking moments before they happened? Because there were quite a few, like I mentioned.
Yeah. So this book definitely had the vibe where Oren was finding herself, her true self, because there were a lot of flashbacks to her time as a saddle. I think they called her like a street saddle. I hate that. I hate that terminology. I hate it altogether. But unfortunately, you know, when she was with Zakir, I think is his name, you know, that was her life. And it was so refreshing to get all of those because she started remembering things that were happening then and using them as her strength at this point. So I just love that. So that was like the overall vibe I feel was very much just her focused on growing. I don't know if you got anything else before we go into like the shocking things.
I liked the flashbacks. I feel like it definitely helped because I remember like talking about book 1 and we were like, you know, she just comes across really weak, and we had mentioned that we have a friend who's reading it too, and she was like, no, I think she's like a victim and like there's a lot of trauma, and we hadn't gotten the full picture. We barely had gotten like even a sliver of what she went through, but now to see more full picture, it's like, okay, I really understand now how she ended up in the arms of someone like Midas and like why she acted the way she did. But then going off the flashbacks, she always would reference the other flesh trader. I think his name's like Barden East. Is that what it was? Something like that. She would always reference him of like how like she was worried that she was going to be sold to him. She did not want to end up with him, whatever. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, they're just like setting the scene of like her situation. Now, I remember you mentioning that you thought like maybe Midas was a flesh trader because he made a big deal about that. And I was like, oh, like, so I definitely thought that was like plausible. It definitely would be in line with his character. I didn't think of it, but once you brought it up, I was like, oh, that's a good point. When they made that revelation that he was this guy the whole time, and she's like, so I was literally trying to run away from you and I willingly ended up, that was probably one of the more shocking ones to me. I mean, we knew he was going to die at some point, so like just the timing of that was shocking. The ribbons, which we will get into, and that revelation were the two biggest things that shocked the shit out of me.
Yup. Yeah, because everything else that happened kind of was just a little whiplash of holy shit, that just happened. Oh my god, that happened.
Yeah.
But these two were actually paused in the moment, had to process it, and then continue reading.
Yeah.
Because it was nuts.
The other things I feel like were like, they're more like, okay, like when is it going to happen?
Yeah.
The ribbons was not even on my radar. You talking about
Nope.
the flesh trading? Like, I thought that was just going to be like it would be a plot, but like I didn't think there was going to be like a connection. I don't know. I just thought it was going to be something that was casually mentioned or she found out about him. I
Yeah.
had no clue this was going to be the connection. So like kudos to you for connecting that in the first place. But like, did you think it went that deep, or were you just like, oh, he started doing this when he was a king, or
So I thought he was doing it when he was king and was using Falk as a, person to take the blame for. So I thought he was just doing sketchy things when he got there. I did not think that that was his true backstory. But I will say, what made me, I mean, I was still shocked when it happened, but when they started mentioning that he was using the dew for all of the saddles, and it seemed like they were pretty much growing it, they were going to distribute it in heavy amounts. It just felt very odd for just his saddles to use. Like, there was no way that you needed that amount for these 7 or 8 people. You are definitely distributing to do some crazy shit.
oh, see, I just read it as like that was the operation that was already in place. So he just was like, oh, we'll just keep it going.
Yeah, I think it was that, but then I also took it as he's doing
So
more
I figured
with
like,
it
oh,
than I
maybe
think Falk.
maybe they had dealers that like were coming to him being like, people were asking for their gold. People are like, where's the due that we normally get? So he was just trying to keep the people. That's what I read it as, but that is a really great point that like he probably was still doing it. He's crazy. He's even crazier than we thought. I feel like now comparing him to Tamlin is nice.
Yeah.
He's worse. He's a
way worse
psychopath.
And what's crazy is we know that he is Barden East. However, we still don't know exactly how he comes into connection with Oren.
True.
Like she that part we don't know about. So I feel like now that he's dead, we probably are gonna get those flashbacks of, oh my god, he's still around. Oh no, he's not. That type of thing. But I want to know how he was actually able to find her, because he did mention, whispers about the golden girl was around, so I came and found you. But what state was she in? Because it sounded as if she did turn people to gold. So what interaction happened there? Because there wasn't any mention of it at that point. She didn't have ribbons yet.
Because it seemed like she was able to get away with those people on the boat, and then wherever she landed, she was getting some type of reputation, or people were just talking about her because she looked gold. Yeah. And he heard and then ran after her. I don't really know. Yeah, like we'll need to see what that whole interaction, and I guess like it makes more sense. I figured she had put eyes on this guy, so she would have realized if that was him. But I guess she never saw him, so like she didn't make that connection. But that was a crazy thing to start admitting as you're like about to be killed any second.
Yeah,
at the top of the staircase.
It was wild. I don't know. I mean, he was ready to drug her extreme amounts, and the way that she reacted to the drug too was interesting. That I wonder if it's because she's Fae. Did it impact her differently? Because she was out for hours in days.
Yeah, well, I think they gave her a crazy amount. Also, she was freshly drugged before they went to the party, because remember, Polly gives her some, and she's so out of it. The second she locked eyes with Rip Rot Slade, it burned away, she said.
Done.
So what is going on? Like, with just a look, you can, or was that like in her the whole time, and like seeing him awoke in her face side? I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. So many
intrigued,
unanswered
though.
things.
Like, again, we're going to talk about the end of the episode, but like, I genuinely do not know where the hell this storyline is going, because I thought Midas was going to be like the villain through most of it.
Especially how they were setting it up with the queen. What's her name? Kyla, I think is how you say it. Her jumping in and her kingdom being there, so him having 3 out of the 6. his lucky number is 6. He's obsessed with that number. I assumed it was going to be him trying to get to that power. I don't know. I just felt as if it was going to be fourth against everyone else.
That's what I thought too.
Is how I thought it was going to end.
Very intrigued.
Yeah.
I also like never saw I've mentioned it a few times, but the ribbon cutting being a thing. Like, and I'm very curious to see how that plays out. Like, are they something that can grow back?
Yeah.
Are they just gone now? What implications is this going to have? That was disturbing. Like, he's a crazy man. And then, oh my God, the worst was like, the way it hit me when Rip Rot Slade was like, use your ribbons. And he was like, oh, she didn't tell you. She doesn't have that privilege anymore. And I was like, and he's making her wear the cut up ribbons on her wrists. I hate this man so much. I'm so glad he literally got turned to gold. He got killed by his own greed, thank God. But like,
yeah,
I wish, like, I mean, I'm glad she got to kill him. But part of me is like, I wish we had a scene where like Rip Rot Slade just got to go at him.
Oh yeah, like killed him but then brought him back to life because his power allows that. Again. Exactly. Like really
just torture him for all.
Torture him. I mean, come on. I'm not a fan of torture, but like this guy deserved it with how trashy he was.
And all those guards that watched, I hope all of them are dead from her explosion, but if not, I hope they go on a massive revenge tour, because I mean, it wasn't like they were cutting off 1 or 2 ribbons. 24 they cut off. And it was
basically individually.
Yeah.
It wasn't all at once. It wasn't a, I've got this crazy machete that could behead someone. It wasn't. No, it broke my heart. I screamed so loud. And Patrick literally looked over and basically was, are you okay? Something happened? I go, I can't talk about it right now because I'm really upset about the book.
My friend just lost her ribbons. You don't even understand.
Right. It's going to be like, okay, get a new one. You don't get it.
And they were attached to her spine. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. I know. And every fan art I see of her has them. So I keep, to your point, do they grow back?
Are they just
or
subs
is it
on the
different?
Back? I'm like, what does it look
I
like
don't
now?
know.
It's
Does Rip Rot Slade remove his spikes to then make him like, we both don't have anything?
Well, he can retract his. So I'm like, maybe she can regrow hers. I don't know. I'm like really sad because like the ribbons, like I really had plans for the ribbons.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, the only thing is with him kind of removing enough of her, life to get her to calm down, basically. Maybe it somehow re-triggered let me regrow myself with the ribbons. I don't know.
Because like I need the ribbons to be flirting with him again. That was so funny.
Yeah. They were so good. Just like, oh, they're crawling towards me. No, I don't need you.
They were like under the bed sheets. I was like, I love it.
Yeah. It was so weird. Yeah.
Kudos to us because we were convinced. We're like, Digby is not dead. We are not falling for this. He was too important to be off page, alive the whole time. This poor man being beaten to a pulp.
And the fact that he literally said, as soon as I arrived here, Midas put me in the dungeons. Mm-hmm. And I think it was as punishment for the fact that Oren didn't make it out safe.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything to go and try and save her either. Like, he knew from day one. And you don't do anything. Oh, it's so bad. It is so bad. Oh, my God.
I hate him so
I feel like
much.
Even with him not being in future ones, I'm still going to talk about how much I hate him.
Oh, there'll be like a lasting effect. Like, I have some questions about like kind of what happens now that he's gone too, like, which we can talk about, but
yeah,
he's gone but never forgotten. There will be lingering impact from him because he's in charge of a lot of territories.
Yeah.
And also,
yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Frig is going to happen to Fifth because like they ran Melina out thinking he was coming. Yeah. Now he's dead. Like, is that kingdom just going to be running amok?
Maybe. I mean, someone else is just going to come up in the world and
they have no heir.
And that's it. My other, we'll get to it when we get there because I feel like I'm going like way too far into theories, but.
Were there any other twists or shocking moments that you kind of saw before they were happening or you wanted to talk about?
Not that I saw happening, but we were on book club and we were all chatting about where you were in 2 and a little bit of where you were in 3. There was a point where we just mentioned something about Riprot Slade and his hawks. His hawks can intercept other hawks. I think that's how he knew 100% that the Red Raids had the saddles, but I was trying to figure out what other hawk did he intercept that he knew Oren was going to be there? Or was it just still a shock? I feel like it still was a shock for him to know that she was there, but he kept mentioning, like, you weren't supposed to be here. So where was she supposed to be that he was going to intercept and find her anyways? Because there just seems some weird destiny vibe, and
That's a good point.
like his hawks are trying to find these things. I don't know. So it was just one of those, oh, interesting.
I love that he trained them to do that too.
Great. 10 out of 10
Like,
recommend.
reading all the, I feel like the coded message though from Highbell was pretty clear.
It was
But
pretty basic.
Again, we have the knowledge of like what's going on there, but I feel like she would have known, like, there she called the cold queen, the cold is left.
Yeah. It doesn't all of a sudden turn sunshine and rainbows over there. It's been snowing for years. Like, there's...
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like that was a little, but, you know, and they were like, we'll talk about this later. And of course, it didn't come back up. Okay. So let's chat about any key turning points where you felt like Oren was really starting to see herself as more than Midas's possession. Because as you mentioned, like, this book, she really was finding her voice, really coming into her own. This was the most enjoyable it's been to read her character, at least for me. I felt like she was not taking shit.
No, not at all. I mean, she did not care what Midas was going to say. And the only reason why she started to care down the line was when he threw Digby, you know, basically and said, I have him alive in the dungeons. You can't, or he just had him alive. You can't see him until you behave. And then she realized, okay, there's a game I have to play. I can still do things, but I have to be sneaky about it and all of that. But one of the big parts for me was really when they started doing the room checks, which it's not a new thing, but apparently he does regular checks to make sure that she isn't turning things gold without him knowing, you know, not stealing anything or has anything in her room that shouldn't be there. I mean, again, don't like him, but some of the stuff that she saw as normal, she realized, oh wow, this is terrible. And when you're actually trying to be a normal human being, this is the worst thing ever. I don't know why this person has to have this control over everyone. So there was stuff there. And then she really started to remember that the lady at the inn who had said, you know, shove down the weakness and strength will rise. And I think that just became her mantra for a lot of things. So I think every time he did something that pissed her off, it really just, again, brought that anger out of her.
Yes. The room checks were giving college dorm. That's all I could think about. Just so unnecessary. Yeah. It's so childish. She's a grown adult. She should be able to have whatever she wants in her room. And like, they had like a notebook of every possession she should have. I'm like, this is insane. They were like making her get up off the chair. I was like, I cannot handle you guys. Going back to your Digby comment though, that was the only time I was like a little irritated with her, where he was like, I have Digby, I'll let you see him if you do all these things. I'm like, and she just went with it. And I wanted her to get proof of life before you start doing stuff for him, because just the way his character had been, I would not have been surprised if he was lying about that just to get her to do what he wanted, because that's all he cared about. I'm glad it worked out where he did actually have Digby, but that could have went really wrong the other way.
We could have had a random person in the dungeon that he had said, oh, this is Digby, and then it just be some random guy and he has no idea who Oren is. So
good point, because all he showed her was the pin. Like, you could have gotten that off of anyone.
They all have it. It's not like it was a special one that he had.
Yeah. For me, I felt like big turning points were when he hit her in the face, because she was like, okay, well, he's never done that before. And I'm like, yeah, look at the littlest inclination of you stepping out of line, and he's already resorting to these like extreme measures, like being physical with you, whatever. Then it felt like it kind of ramped up when they had the dinner with Third Kingdom and Fourth Kingdom, and he's pinching her leg really hard
Oh,
under
that
the
was,
table.
yeah.
Now, I do think she said like he had pinched her before, but I think she said like, this is the hardest it's ever been. She was like almost in tears. And then
Yeah.
he kind of embarrassed again at that dinner when, you know, he's trying to show that he has power, whatever, because he can see that she's looking at who he thinks is Commander Rip. Surprise, it was the body double, aka Slade's brother. A new character that we're gonna explore. Like,
All
where's he
right.
been hiding? And he just says like, "Go play music," and she literally said, "No, I don't want to. Like, I haven't played in a while. I'm nervous because like she was coming up with an excuse she didn't want to do it." And he basically was just like, "Go do it." And as she's walking, she like notes to herself like, "I feel like I'm just like a shiny toy that he's putting on display." And she did not want to do
Yeah.
it, and it was embarrassing to like make her feel like she was just like there to do whatever he wanted at his beck and call. And I feel like she finally connected those pieces in that moment. Like, yeah, this is not what I want.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Because every time like you said, when he was more physical with her rather than just verbal abuse, it totally changed her. And that beast inside her just kept growing. The entire book, it just felt like it was a simmering fire and it was just ready to explode. That's all I could picture.
Every time they reference the beast, or like anytime we're mentioning the beast, all I can think of now is that movie Turning Red.
Oh my God.
You saw that, right? The Pixar movie where she gets angry, she turns into the red panda
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm picturing is like her turning into an animal. I know it's not, but like that's all I can picture in my head right now.
Hey, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, book 4, she
Point.
might turn into an animal.
Good point. Good point. Okay. For more exciting things, the person that we're actually here for in the book,
Yeah.
Rip Slade, like I said, was not enough of him in the beginning. We did get the spicy scene. The ribbons were not used to their full potential. Now they never will be if they don't regrow. But how do you feel like her relationship with Rip is kind of challenging her understanding of intimacy and respect, something that she has not experienced with Midas up to this point, or really anyone? Because, you know, as you mentioned, her work when she was younger really wasn't with like the most respectful men who were caring about her.
Oh my gosh. I mean, even down to just every interaction she had that we saw through her flashbacks, but also everything she's mentioned with Midas and just, you know, how he would make her watch, but then, oh, precious, you know, I love you the most and I can't have you involved in that because you are mine and I don't want anyone else to touch you, yada, 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 all this stuff. It was very much using her heartstrings in that sense to allow her to keep playing along. Rip Rotsley literally is just there for her own good. I said you could tell he was written by a woman because he just was there for her in every sense of the way. He really was just there to support her and see her grow, because he kept saying every time she'd be a little bit sassy towards him is, oh, there's Goldfinch and, you know, there you are and stuff. And I just think he wanted her to come to the realization because he was furious that she didn't choose him and she did choose Midas going back, but wanted her to get to the same point of, this is not the person that you think you're going back to. You have to get there. And we saw a lot more in the last, 30-40% was just him really being there and trying to get her there. So I thought he was really good, and just also shows her the respect too. I mean, everything he has said in his kingdom is everyone's equal, does not matter who you are. And I think more and more he started to show that and prove it to her of like, all right, you've got the power. Let's go. It's not me. It's you. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, going off that, like her having the power, I did note that like everything they did was on her schedule. It's not really the right word I'm looking for, but like it was at her pace, I guess is a better way to say it. Like he did not do anything, cross any lines that she was not comfortable. And even when they were going to cross a line, he would make her say it to him, like, I want you to do this, or we are going to do this. Because, and I like that, like, one, he was getting consent, but I think he was making it so she was owning the decision. He wasn't forcing anything on her. And, if she, I mean, we saw her go back to Midas and he gave it up. Like, he was like, if you want to be with him, like, he was never pushing her to do anything. Where I feel like probably if her upbringing and situation was different, he does seem like the type who would probably be like a little bit more of that dominant, aggressive side. Not in a bad way, but I think he just understood that, like, what she was dealing with and the trauma she probably has, and he really wanted to take it slow, which I really appreciated reading. It was very sweet.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I think that also is probably why my rating was higher too, just how he was. We obviously liked him in the second book, but I just think he even grew more of how he was there to, give her that space,
Mm-hmm.
and let her get to that, some, decision herself.
Yeah. I also like that he just fully accepts her for who she is. He is not asking her to hide anything, to dim anything. He's like, embrace it. Like, this is who you are, own who you are. Like, where Midas, like, for example, talking about why she has to be in the cage, he makes her feel like she's such a danger to people. Like, you're in the cage not because of like what would happen to you, but I'm worried about like what you would do to other people. Rip Rot Slade is like, she was literally his prisoner. She had free reign.
Yeah.
Even after he finds out about her gold, like, he's more than comfortable walking around with her, being around her during the daytime when she has her powers. And the biggest thing was at the end when she goes nuts and everyone's running away because like the castle's like melting.
Yeah.
And she's literally screaming to him like, you need to go, like, I don't want to hurt any of you. He sends his like little group away, but instead of running away from her, he runs towards her. And I think in her, like, she finally sees like, oh, he's not scared of me. And he fully trusted, like, no, like, I know what we have, like, you're not gonna hurt me. Where like she was basically told, like, when you're in this state, you're gonna hurt people.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome because it got through to her too, because it seems as if she's in this, kind of zones out in
Like
a way, and
almost,
just it takes over. Yeah, it just takes over her. And again, to your point earlier with the dew and how looking at him was able to focus her back, he really is kind of the North Star for her. And I don't mean that to say like everything's surrounded around him, but it does help ground her with so many things of how she isn't trained in her powers. Like, all she did was literally just turn things gold, and then at nighttime would hang out and be able to, move around and not turn people gold. But it's just,
now apparently she can do this at night too. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I mean, does she have enough battery power from the day? Just have a little craziness at night? I don't get it.
I have no clue. Also, his like declaration to her at the end.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't. He was just like, if you're gonna pick me, like, you're picking me basically forever. Like, you're picking all of me. Like, there's no going back on this. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is not just like casual, like, me or him. It's like, no, this is life or death. Like, me.
This is very much in writing.
We're never gonna talk again.
I feel like there's some bond or whatever that happens. It's kind of like that standard. If you commit to this, there's a bonded, you bonded for life type thing. But literally, it gives that vibe of, this is it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I love it. I need more of them, and I hope the next book is like they're together, doing their thing for all of it. I need more interactions with them, especially now that they've gotten to this place.
Yeah. Agreed.
Which, talking about the next book, did you pick up on any clues of what might be coming for future books in this series? Or, like, more specifically, do you have any idea of, like, who you think the enemy's going to be? Because, like, I really thought it was going to be Midas. There's some people, like, that could potentially be contenders, but I really don't know which way it's going.
Yeah, so my other two were Queen Kyla and then also Melina, because she's still alive. All we get is the she runs away from the person who was trying to kill her, but that guy doesn't ever come back. They get the message that she's dead, but there's no, like, he doesn't actually finish the job.
And he's fully a shadow, so he's probably following them.
Right. So you know that they're going to Seventh Kingdom because she's with Pruin, who literally has been saying,
that's all he wants to do.
Yeah, you're trying to get here. That's where your most desired thing is. I can't figure out if she's going to end up trying to get powers or get someone with powers to use it for bad, because she wants to be queen. Then, I have no idea. But then Kyla was just kind of one of those, I can't read her. Like, yeah, she's super sus. Like the whole, if you don't act like a good person, I'm going to, remove your voice and, no one will find out if you scream.
She has crazy powers. She's ready to kill Mist and the baby.
She's way too powerful.
She's threatening to kill everyone. But
everyone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyone else for you?
I mean, I had the same ones because they're really the only other people that could be that are like introduced, but they're not really tied to this plot. This is kind of going into our next question of like other thoughts that we have, but like,
yeah,
what is going to happen for Fifth Kingdom? Because Midas and Kayla are not married yet. Before he dies, they were just announcing that they're going to get married at that ball, so they are not married. The prince gets poisoned at that ball because I think they were like trying to put the blocks in motion. So the prince of Fifth dead. So then you would think, okay, Midas would swoop in as like he's been kind of like acting and like as the advisor to the prince because he was too young. Midas is now dead at the same party. Kayla is his like bride to be, but they're not actually married. So does she have a claim to the Fifth Kingdom throne? Is someone else gonna come up and try and take it, and maybe that person's gonna become our enemy? Is Rip Rot Slade gonna go for it? Like, what is gonna go on with Fifth Kingdom?
Yeah, I don't know, because they also tried blaming it on Slade because when the prince died, they did some magic or whatever that made it look like the veins. So that they were working on something and probably tried it on people to see if it would give them the veins. Like, so maybe I don't know.
And maybe her and Melina are going to have some like type of showdown of like Kayla is probably going to act like, or maybe it's going to come out that her and Midas did sign some paperwork and they just before the party. And so she's going to try and act like she has the claim to Fifth and Sixth. And then she has third.
Her brother also just seems, and I don't know if it's because of the banter that we get for them at that dinner, but her brother does not seem on the same vibe.
Oh, no.
And maybe that's just how you want it to be read, but I just don't think he wants that villain side as much as she was willing to go. I don't know if she's just willing to go that way because she had said there's resources in Fifth that I need. So I'm marrying Midas for that specifically.
Yeah.
So was she just doing it really for her own gain? Didn't really care about him at all? Like,
oh yeah, I think they're like cut from the same cloth. Because like, what happened to her first husband? Like, we need to look into that.
The old man. Yeah, I mean,
like, was that natural?
How old was he?
She get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly. She used the same poison.
Yeah, I have no clue. I also though feel like I picked up on the same thing with you. Like, Melina is with Pruin. They're on the run together.
Yeah.
She can't go back to Sixth. She doesn't know yet, I don't think, about Midas. So they're kind of on the run. So like, where else are they gonna go? I think that also they're gonna end up in Seventh because like at that point, they have no destination. So maybe she'll just be like, you know what, Pruin, you keep showing me this goddamn map. We'll just go there.
I mean, Gio's dead, so yeah. Also, I feel like he stuck around for so much longer than he should have. And probably could have just pieced out on her. Yeah, I mean, the amount of times that she was super rude to him, I would have walked out and be like, figure it out yourself.
I would have left her at the castle when she was like not understanding. She's like, bring me my servants. He's like, your servants are not here. No one is here for you except for me.
Super sus that Pruin all of a sudden was like, oh yeah, they just let me in because they're all fighting each other.
Yeah, something's going on with him.
I don't know who he is, who he truly is.
And why did he keep having like okay, clearly that timing was on purpose of like when his cart broke down. But then she started
Yeah.
having like meetings with him and he was bringing her gossip. I don't know. Sus. Maybe
Yeah.
he could become the end. There's so many like random side characters that like maybe
Mm-hmm.
they could rise to that, but I felt like Midas was like our main one and he's gone.
I know. And I don't know if it was to literally just make us completely go off the rails on hating him that we are going to get someone else worse. I mean, but like you said, there's so many side characters that we only got a little glimpse of in this book
Yeah.
that I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get them more in the next one.
I don't know. And I'm still convinced. I don't know if this will be the next book, but I do think at some point, Oren will end up back in the Fae world. There were so many mentions of her. We find out she was actually born there. And we
Yeah.
find out how she got brought to the human world, which I liked that we got that little information. But
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like she talked about it so much and like would like picture it that we're going to have to end up there at some point. I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
next book, but clearly I don't know how to time anything in this series, so it could be.
You know what?
It could be chapter 3 of the next book.
Yeah, right. They're just all of a sudden there.
There's there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I think we're going to end up there. I don't know if it's going to be the conclusion of the entire series or if it's going to be like book 5 and then 6 is back here with everything else and, you know, the big war or whatever. But I don't know. I keep questioning that. And then I do feel like they're going to end up at Deadwell in the next book because Rip Rot Slade literally mentioned it a few times of he was worried that people were there, you know.
What do you think the secret is that he's hiding there? Do you think it's the entrance to the Fae world? Do you think it's there's Faes harboring there? Because there's people there, and he didn't want Midas's guard or whatever to be in the town for too long, and he's like very protective over whatever is going on there.
I think it might be more the people there that he doesn't want anyone to talk to unless he approves it type thing. It wouldn't shock me if he has Fae that are there that I know that Oren mentions that the rest of the kids that were with her all were pretty much taken, but could have some of them gotten away and maybe they're there? I mean, I don't really know. We still don't know how people, yeah, I mean, even just down to how people kind of see what they want to see with when Rip's in that form of, you know, his actual Fae true form, that they don't really see him as this Fae beast. Like they just see him as a strong commander. So I don't know, can Fae kind of sense other Fae? We still keep going on that, and I really think there's something there.
I'm sorry, like he has pointy ears and scales on his face, and like you just think that's normal?
Yeah, it's definitely giving the Muggles don't see everything or they see what they want to see, and then all of a sudden there's just like a random thing there that they wouldn't realize. So
Great,
it has to be something. Yeah. Always got to go back to that again.
What other thoughts are you having about like next book, the rest of the series? One of my bigger ones is like, as I already mentioned, like what the hell is going to happen to Miss Baby? Because that's just kind of like floating around. Because the last we saw was Kyla, whatever the hell her name is, threatening to kill the baby, and Mist, Oren going to warn Mist, and then Mist then ratting her out to Midas, which like, you deserve what's coming to you now because like she tried to warn you. Is that still the plan? Are they gonna forget about this because Midas is dead now, and then Miss is gonna have the baby, and now this child is gonna compete to be the heir of all these kingdoms? Like what the hell is happening to Miss and the baby?
I don't know. My only other thought was, you know, when Rissa takes Polly away.
Oh yeah.
Right at
Did they get away?
Because it was sensed like Oren, like I think she whispered to Oren, come with me, and Oren pretty much said, no, I'm not going with you, but was get out of here, you need to now. We hadn't really talked to Rissa in a long time at that point as well. Like there wasn't as many meetups and stuff like that I question if she also was realizing Midas isn't gonna keep Mist alive. Also, as bad as it sounds, do you think Kyla just like killed her? before the ball?
Who knows?
Like, there's so many unknowns of what happened to the Saddle group. Do you know what I mean? There's so much there that I don't know what happened. I don't even know what's going on with the ones who are still drugged off that are just chilling in their room together.
I have no clue. Like, I
don't know, but I do think this baby's going to be pivotal if they are still alive.
Oh, 100%. I just, like, it's such a random storyline. Like, where is it going? Is it going to be another one that just kind of fizzles out? I have no clue.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to see, Rip and Oren just falling more in love with each other in the next book. And we got to talk about Lou. That power she has, I love it.
Same.
But why is she the only one that has, like, magic? She was like, oh, mine's just, like, from my, like, grandparents or whatever. It must still be strong. Is there another connection here?
I was thinking she's Fae.
I'm like, or is she, like, I don't know. Maybe she's, like.
Maybe she's not, or.
Half Fae. I don't know, because.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, is she royalty? Like, why? Because it's important that she has magic. That they wouldn't have her have that for no reason.
Yeah. And there was one point where they were trying to figure out more about her, and she pretty much is just, that's another story for a different day. So there's way more on her.
Yeah.
That we're not getting.
I really want to meet more Fae, because, like, what the hell is going on with all you people?
Yeah, I don't want it just to be 2 people, and that's it. We need more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like her
band
power,
together.
Though. Now
yeah,
it makes
I
sense
love
why
that
she
power.
Was sneaking around everywhere.
Yeah, whenever she's like, "Oh, we can just go right through the front gate." What?
Like, what are you
we
doing?
can? Yeah. No, it was really good. I think that's super valuable, and obviously, I mean, being in the army is probably really good too. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping we find out more there. So.
Yeah. That was everything I had.
There was only one other thing I had, which was pretty shocking. And we found this out. Midas did not know that Oren was Fae. This whole time I kept thinking that he was keeping her as a possession because of what she was. He didn't know. So, again, I think he just thought she had this power from whatever, but we never get his POV of him knowing that. So I don't know why they would. I don't know if it was just mentioned that, like, he just didn't think anything other than the fact that she has ribbons in her back. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like any other people with magic have things popping out of their spine.
These people are stupid. Like, they have extra appendages, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just normal. Like, what?
That can do things.
Honestly, with him though, I think he is so blinded by greed and just power and what he can get from her that I think he just, like, overlooks things that maybe other people would have been like, why does she have these? Because he's just like, end goal, she can get me gold.
Yeah, exactly. I can be in power. All of that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just so excited to get to the next one, though. This was probably the first book that as soon as I finished it, I immediately wanted to start the 4th one. Like, there were definitely points where the other books, I definitely wanted to see more of what's going on. But there's just so much that was introduced in the last 30%. So many things that are left unanswered. I need to keep going.
Yeah. The ending was like boom, 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 like sprint finish to the end. Like, could not keep up. I was a little thrown at the beginning of Slade's POV because it was the exact same chapter that we had just read all over again. I was like, okay, I literally just read this. What's it? So I wish it, like, jumped a little bit more, like, cut some of that off.
I know.
Because, like, I didn't need to know his inner monologue. It was very clear from, like, how she was interpreting exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
But I'm so curious, how is he going to, because, like, he literally had to rot her from the inside out to stop her. How easy is it going to be to, like, bring her back to life? Is she just going to be, like, normal? Is there going to be effects? Like, what are the implications of doing that? Because that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he even, what did he say? Right in the beginning of the book, he pretty much brought the soldiers back and was just, oh, if you wait too long, then, the damage is already done. So is he pretty much bringing her back to life immediately after they're out of that castle? That way she's alive type thing. Like, I'm trying to figure out the timeline
Well,
and where's the next book going to start.
He has to move quick because he was like, I got to get her away from the gold, because that was the issue, is like being surrounded by the gold was like feeding the beast.
I don't know. And I keep trying to figure out, what is this beast? Is it actually her full Fae powers? Or is it something else that she's got? We were talking about the stars and all the things that were going on there. I keep questioning is it something else that the Fae world's trying to give her as this thing to fight back against all of the people who kind of shun them away? I don't know. I was going so far into like, what the hell is this beast? I don't get it.
Also, like, there's gold all over this freaking place now because he was giving it away to everyone. And it's just crazy. Like, her power can also like kill her at the same time.
I know, and I was trying to figure it out too, because at some point Rip-Rot Slade was walking with Osric and he could sense that Rip's aura was through the roof. And I think he had mentioned that if he doesn't use his powers at times, that it can do damage. And I do question if they have to get rid of their power regularly.
Like,
yeah, because I mean, if not, I don't know what happened. So I don't know if he's gone through something similar where he's almost died from it. I don't know. And that's why he was like, this is your power, it's fine, let it be. But the fact that it just takes over her is wild.
He needs to train her on how to use it.
I think we're gonna get some training. I really hope we do. I don't know. It's training season. Let's go.
Onyx Storm.
Yeah. Very much so.
My goodness. I'm really excited though to read it. I'm hoping it picks up right where we left off on book 4. I mean, it has to. It has to pick up with him reviving her.
You can't jump 5 months down the line. Like, all right, she's alive. So this is what happened. No. No.
Or it's gonna
we need them fleeing the scene.
Some random person's POV.
Yeah.
Like, what was that, book 2?
Yeah, what should be Melina again? I don't want to start off with her.
In the carriage.
No offense. Yeah.
There you go, Melina. No one cares.
Yeah. No one cares.
But no, I'm very curious. Are they going back to 4th? Like, what is everyone doing? Like, that's the thing. It's an interesting book because I feel like most series you can kind of predict, like, okay, this is like where I think the plot is going for the next book. But it's like, it sets up the book in the sense of like, it gets you really excited to keep reading because so much happens that you're like, oh my god, what's the fallout for this maybe? But you have no clue where it's actually going. Like, it just feels like all the plots that we were following have not now like hit a pause, and there's all these new ones, but like we're like on step 1 of the new plot.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, if you think about what this is, the first half of the series, so I'm trying to figure out, maybe after we read all of them, we'll say, oh wow, this was so obvious, this was mentioned in book 1. But right now, to your point, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, like what are we building to?
I'm here for the ride. Like,
I literally thought we were building to taking Midas down, and he's gone.
I know, and it was so satisfying, but again, would have liked his torture to be a little bit longer.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm happy he's gone. I only have to probably see him in like a flashback, but what is coming that needs 3 more books that are 700 or something pages each?
I don't know, because they did grow in size of the books too. It wasn't as if they stayed, the 500, 600 range.
What's happening?
I don't know. I don't even know which one is the favorite of everyone. I didn't even research because I didn't want to look too far ahead and then accidentally find things out. So I'm kind of just here. All right. So we're going to keep going with the series because as this, entire episode was pretty much our hype for reading the next one. So we're going to be covering Glow, which is the 4th in the series by Raven Kennedy. So stay tuned for more of that. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Booktroverts Pod. Same with Fable Book Club, and read along with us and keep up with the hype. But see you next time. Bye.
Bye.